Hey, welcome back to Nilly's Bonsai. Hope you're well. Been a bit of a lull in the longer format content, I know, but today hopefully I've got a little bit of a treat for you guys. Got a bench of Lonicera natida, or Baggins Gold, which I struck from cuttings several years ago now. They've been in the greenhouse majority of their life. It really has kind of helped bulk them up and inject some vigour into them. Not that they require a greenhouse, but because I've had use of one, it's been great. But yeah, today really I just want to kind of go through them, cut the fat as it were, find the best ones, knock them back a little bit and get some ready to go into my garden next spring, where they'll continue their journey towards bonsai. Just want to get them a little bit chunkier before they go into a smaller pot. But some of these trees, they could be really quite minute little things, or you could make some larger ones, but because of their leaf size, they're definitely angling towards being smaller trees. More little traditional style bonsais, and probably quite a fun thing really. They're quite a vigorous growing thing, backbud profusely, branching out of everywhere. The minute you cut them back, they're almost sending out a new shoot. So yeah, really quite an enjoyable little thing to work on. But like I say, there's quite a few of them there. We won't go through all of them today, but we'll pick some of the better ones and have a look at them. So I'll just give you guys a kind of bird's eye view of the sea of Lonicera that we've got here to work on. And minus one of these, which was an older one out of the garden I found, that had rooted from a hedge clipping, these are all my cutting stock. So quite a few there, and we won't need all of them, but there's some hidden gems amongst this lot, I will say. So before we jump into it today, just gonna show you what we'll be using. There's a pair of Felcos, small pair of branch cutters, and a pair of scissors there, so nothing particularly special. That should see us well equipped for the job. I'll first one down and have a look at it. So as you can see, it's put on a lot of growth there. All this is this year. We have a really decent ring of roots as well. If I just scrape back a little bit of that there, you can see that this has basically a complete ring of roots. So that's another great advantage there of using cutting stock. You do get to control that situation a bit more from an early age. I'd originally kind of picked this here, put some movement in this, and then obviously left this here as a leader. That has now actually got quite large. But it's also had a shoot here that I've missed, and that one there has bulked up quite dramatically now, but it's actually quite a cool direction. So I think with this one to start with, I'm actually going to do away with this big branch here, and you can see that was probably 50% of its growth there, but once that is cleaned up, that's quite a cool angle there, and then we'll see where this goes from there. I'm just going to lighten the load on this one, and I'll just cut it there for now. And a few of these wispy bits, I'm just going to trim them back because I'm going to condense my benches for winter and bring a lot of stuff in. Obviously after last year's brutal winter, sorry, I don't want to lose vulnerable trees just because it was just too cold regardless of the soil mix. And I can monitor that in spring then. So quite an interesting piece of movement there, a nice root base, and then there's plenty of options now with that. I won't use much of this because it's actually dead straight obviously, and there's no bending this. So we'll pop that one to one side. That's one done. This one here again, really vigorous growth from it. You can see this was the original leader that I'd left and put some movement in. This piece here has come off dead straight with all that vigour. Has actually overtook the original leader that I left, probably because I cut it back at some point for the repot, and you can see it sent some new growth out. Probably got the best part of 2 foot of growth there. Probably can't see it all on the camera there, but there's a lot of growth on that. So same kind of process as the other one. I want to just really look at what I think now is the best shape for this one. I'm just going to continue with this original piece as the main leader, but I'll use this to continue bulking it up for now. I'll just cut back some of these wispier parts, just those there, just to stop the tangle and kind of so I can condense the benches down for winter a little bit. So I think we will be losing all of that at some point there, but I'm going to keep it for bulking up for now. I will just take out a few of these and a few of these other ones trailing along the bench there. None of these have got to a thickness where I really need to worry about them much. And again, we'll take a few of those out just so I can reveal that movement to you a bit better. So really I'm going to leave that one there because I don't really want to do anything more to this area that is bulking up. So I need to, obviously it's a nice bit of taper there now, but I still want that to get a bit thicker. And I'll just leave this to pull this chunk a little bit harder. That's a good thickness that, you know, start of the year they probably weren't far off this leader section. So it's probably doubled in the year, so that's good going, that one really. This is quite an interesting little tree again. You can actually see maybe 2 little pads coming off this here. Right, so once again, I can see there's decent buds here, so I'm going to just take back some of this big growth. So maybe you can see that now, where I say about having these pads flat, and then maybe I'll bring that up a little, but actually it looks okay there. I think all I will do is just shorten it back to there, and hope that we get some more buds out of these positions. I'm just kind of going with these, you know, there's no real plan to them. Now we can go in and tidy that up a little bit more. There's actually quite a nice pad structure there. So like I say, these were really aimed at being just kind of a fun thing. Just something with lots of cutting back to do. So I can kind of envision that there. We got a pad, we got another pad, and we can continue off here somewhere. Well, I say maybe a better one comes out. So this one's probably, a little bit less complicated, to be fair. I can kind of see a nice path on here. And I think what I'm going to do with this one, just because I want to avoid scarring lower down, I'll take this area off now. That would have been obviously the original leader area off of this, but this one again has gained more dominance this year and took off, as it were. An amazing root flare on this one again. You can see that there, absolutely full. Kind of nice character to these roots as well. They're not just, you know, straight outright and down. They've done their own thing, but they're nice. All I've done is fan them out and cut them back. And I think with this one, you can imagine, you see, there's some nice turns there. So I think what we'll do with this, we'll cut these back to where I can see vigorous shoots coming out, well, new vigorous buds. And I think we'll clean out that area of interest there. There's no problem getting these to back bud, so as long as you don't do major damage to the trunk there, and just cut them back flush. They're quite insignificant little branches, so they'll either heal over really well, or they'll send out more shoots. So it's kind of a win-win. Like I say, this is quite a friendly species. You might get a little bit of dieback on a really severe cold winter, but you can grow them branches back in a year, I'm sure. So you can see the idea with this one, probably end up coming off with this next year. So I think that we can call done. I'm just again going to reduce the mass of this. These here, take them off. I don't think we'll use that. So as you can see, that one there, much more simpler than the other ones really. You know, the other ones are really quite, a bit of imagination's required really, but I can see roughly where I want to go with those. So like I say, these are one of these things that throw you out another shoot and you'll be off in another direction. So it's all to play for, as it were, as long as the plant's still alive and healthy. So this area here will probably just be treated as sacrifice, again just to bulk up that main area. So I'll leave a lot of that on there, nothing that's, you know, tangling up with the others. Hopefully some of this upright growth takes over and we don't take up so much space trying to bulk them up. The root flare, again, like I said, is amazing on that one. So I think that's another one that's going to be coming home with me. We haven't found one we're not taking yet. Very similar to the one I just showed you there. There's a piece of tile from spring just to help it sit happy, and as you can see now, it's well anchored into the pot. Very similar to that other one really. I had grown this back section on just to kind of bulk it up a bit, but I'm going to take some of this away again. See, quite a big chunk there. That's simplified at no end. I think to be honest, this is wasted here, so that can go. We'll avoid the scar by getting rid of it. I'll just literally point this out while we're here on this one as well, because it's such a perfect bit. This is an absolute perfect cutting for these here. You can be quite generous with them. If you just cut a nice angled cut under a leaf node there, clean these up nicely, you know, a little bit better than that. You try and resist doing that to them, but that's what it wants to look like at the end with a clean cut, and just into the soil. And I guarantee if we leave that in there, that will root. I don't want any more of these, but just as an example for you guys, that's how easy these are made. So back to the plant in hand quickly. So I think we're quite happy with that piece we've got coming off there. Again, I'll just clean this up a little bit because they're going to sit in the greenhouse all winter, so it won't be of no harm to them. And you can see there now we've created some movement out of it and some taper, and then maybe we come off with another new vigorous branch next year. But I will leave the bulk of this on. I'll just take it to there and round those off a little bit. And again, you see, you've got potentially a nice little tree there. Again, another full ring of roots. Just reveal that. Another good, promising little starter tree. And this could be a tiny little tree, you know, it doesn't have to be big. You know, the leaf size here really does lend themselves to being whatever you want them to be. So there's another one. Maybe we'll do you guys one more. So I think we'll do this final one before I show you guys a couple more special ones of these that I've got. Like I say, they were from the same stock. There's a reason why they're specialer than the rest of them now. This one's a really cool one, to be fair, and I think we can go in with this to start with. We can immediately take out all this down here. I'm working a bit cack-handed because I'm trying to video it for you guys as well, but hopefully it's working out. I won't know till I review all the footage. Really nice piece of movement on here. I actually just like this whole thing really. It even curls off there beautifully. Good bit of sacrificial growth there, so I think we'll actually leave a lot of that. Again, we'll just knock them back so that these shoots can take over. This wispier growth, you know, it's not going to bulk it up dramatically by itself. The bits that come off the back of this from clipping it back from the main trunk, they really will put size on. So we'll leave some of that there. I don't think we're going to use any of that. The branches we've got in the usable area, they're not really of any thickness yet, so I don't think we need to worry about those. And we got this really nice piece. If I just clear a bit of this here, I know it will come back, so it's not an issue. But really nice character on that one, the way it comes up and around. And like I say, I think that will be the cut-off point for it being sacrificial. And if it was going to be a heavier tree, you know, thicker, that would actually make quite a nice branch, and there'd be a leader there as well. So it just rely on, it would need this obviously to thicken up a bit more. But I'm not going to do too much more to that. You know, I think we took the bulk of the weight off of it. I'll just come around here again and give it a really, really crude pruning back. Like I say, these, clipping them up really as well when I put them in the ground in spring, so they're not just blowing around and getting damaged, you know. That there is a lot more securable in the ground than having all these, you know, couple of foot whips trailing off of them. But really cool plant that. Couple of years and that'll be something really quite interesting again. So as a little bonus to this video, if you like, I've got two others here. We'll do them one at a time because it's quite a restricted little area I'm working in there. Now I say these are special, more special than the rest, for the simple fact I took a couple of these down to Herons to give to Peter Chan to kind of work on, you know, just for his viewers, something a little bit different that he could work on. He kindly turned me down and refused them and turned them into bonsais. Well, one of them he did and one of them I did. Now I'm thinking this is Peter Chan's one because the effort that's gone into the movement in the trunk there. But I can't, without reviewing the video now, I actually can't remember which one's which. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Hopefully you'll forgive me for saying that. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of show you these since obviously we've been to Herons probably a couple of months ago now. He gave these a clip back and you can see all this new growth again, and the wire's just starting to bite in places now. I'll probably leave it on there for now just because I want to preserve the work of Mr. Chan. Once I do figure out which one's which, I'm sure it's this one. But all I will do is, continuing on from what we started with here, I'm going to clean back these branches obviously and just get those clear again. And these here, I'm just going to cut them back. Into a rough pad shape. That one's actually extended out quite a bit since. So that looks quite nice. And the same on this other pad here. Just work around that wire. I don't think we need those ones there. And this one out of here. And I'm going to do the same with this pad. Just very roughly cutting it back for now. We can work on finer details next year. You just don't want those getting too chunky, as I've proven on those other little trees that we've just worked on. These soon bulk up, these branches, if they're left unchecked. I'm going to bring those ones in a little bit more. I've missed a couple down there, you see. And that's kind of how I'm intending on growing these ones. Very much click and grow after that little bit of movement's been put in with wire. And it does seem to work out with these. So again, we can kind of see here on this one, there's actually a really nice branch coming off there, which does present to be a nice apex. So I think a lot of that there, that will just be really, again, sacrificial just to bulk it up. So I think I'm quite happy to leave that there. You can see there from them two pads, it gives you a good idea of, you know, what's achievable with these in a very short period of time. So quite happy with that. I'm going to park that up over there separate from the rest of them. And then we'll come to the one that I think I did. Although, like I say, I actually grew the material to start with. It's just nice to have had a master work on one. So I'm going to go in with the same process for this. This branch isn't wired, but I'm just going to clean back and see what's hiding there. And that second one might work well with that. I think we could use both of them there. So we'll leave them untouched. All I will do is just shorten these odd little bits that are going to clash in with the rest of it. Then we just need to kind of unpick the very top of it now and see what's going on up here. So we've got wire right up to the top. Very clustered up here. Let's see if we can just get a little bit of clarity on the situation. And that one there, that is coming from in this little branch here. It's coming from inside of the bend there. So we're going to take that out there. That's given us some good clarity straight away. So there's a really nice structure to this. So you can see there with just a little bit of clipping back. And again, underneath that branch, there's another branch kind of coming from the curve or inside of the arc, and again it's just given some really nice space there. Opened it up, you know, it really then enhances the other areas. Under this branch as well, there's a lot of hanging little bits, they can all go. This is a really nice looking little tree here. And again, I'm just going to go in and thin out where we've got areas touching, just to give those pads a little bit more definition. I don't think the secondary branch is required on that one there, so we'll only have one branch coming from that point. So that needs some movement in it, but then once that's got a little bit of movement in it, I'm liking this section here. That's really quite nice. The last real hurdle with this one now is just seeing into that kind of final apex area. And I'm going to clean out a few of these bits. Clean out the bottom of that branch there as well. That's kind of going the wrong way. So this branch, in order of thickness, is actually kind of where it wants to be. So once again, we'll just knock these back just to control the vigour for now. A few little obscure bits coming off of it, so you can knock those back. There's another little pad kind of created there. Same with this one. It does make great topiary, this Lonicera as well. Not so much the topiary, but just structural shapes in the garden. If you want a little square, or you want a ball, or you know, something like that, you can make whatever out of it. These we're going to leave long. That one's damaged, so it can come off. Those are going to get left long just to bulk that branch up a little bit, because it's actually behind these others. And likewise with this piece. I think if we were going to treat that as an apex, I think I'll just knock all these back for now. And again with this branch, it's kind of at desired thickness now, until the others catch up or the trunk gets much bigger. I wouldn't want to let that get any thicker. It's almost looking like little clouds on there already, isn't it? And as more come out of there, we can try and make something out of that structure, but I think for now that will do. And those there can go back. Doesn't take long for this to grow more. they're looking quite decent, them little pads on that there already. And that's a 2-year-old, literally from a piece like that, or a little bit bigger like the piece I showed you earlier. So there we go. There's a couple of the ones, obviously, that me and Peter Chan made. Minus the sacrifice branch on this one at the back here that's making that one hard to see the shape of. I'm really, really pleased with those two there. There's a pile of rubbish that we cut off 6 of them, or 7. So quite a lot, lots of cuttings if you wanted it. And there are, I'll just move this other one out of the way. There's our row of them that we've worked on. And you can still see I've got probably another good 15 or so to get through. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that one. If you have, if you could give it a thumbs up, that'd be really handy. And if you're a new viewer, if you could maybe consider subscribing to the channel, that'd be really handy as well. Thank you.